Hello dear students, today I am going to explain procurement management and practices in construction industry. In this video, you are going to learn what are the objectives of procurement department, various functions of procurement department in maintaining and controlling the inventory, procedural details in the purchasing department, responsibilities of procurement manager, various formats of documents used for materials procurement, and requisition as well as purchase order process. All we know that procurement department plays a very important role in contributing towards the organizational profitability as well as the revenue generations. So in the construction industry also, materials make a very important element. So the main focus of any materials management is to get the right quantity, right quality at right time. And procurement of materials include purchasing of materials, market survey for new materials, development of new sources of supply, vendor development, and follow up to ensure the delivery on time. So there are many places the terms procurement and purchasing practices are used interchangeably. So procurement, when we say it is in broader term, it is more of the strategic in nature, and purchasing is strategic in nature, and this purchasing practices is limited to the buying of the materials rather than any relationship, maintaining the relationship with the vendors and all. So let us understand what are the objectives of procurement department. The first and foremost is the maintaining continuity of supply of materials. To maintain quality standards of materials, to develop a good reliable suppliers is very important. To provide information on materials development to top management, to keep order the inventory in control, and to monitor proper material utilization at site. So looking at the objective of procurement department, there are various functions and roles which are being performed by the managers in charge for the procurement department. They study the materials schedule submitted by the engineering department or any concerned department. They prepare budget for materials requirement as per the material schedule. The job of the procurement department also is to inform the top management regarding the budget and implementing it. Submitting the requirement of funds to the finance department is another function. Placing the order for various materials and making available at various sites according to the scheduled charts. Market survey is very important, especially in case of new materials, and arranging the new sources of supply, means identification of the vendors in case of any new materials are to be procured, which are not as usual, which are being procured by the department. Then making selection and follow-ups for the best quality material supply with continuity. Developing good and reliable suppliers, ensuring satisfactory vendor relationship. Updating the market rates and information on new products. You can see out of all functions, the continuity of the material supply can be ensured only when there is a good relationship with the vendor. So maintaining the good relationship with the vendors, also the long-term relation, makes a very important and strategic role in case of procurement department. If you look at the structure of procurement department, on the top there is a in charge procurement, and it is assisted by, he or she is assisted by the assistant manager in the procurement department. Now, in order to support the key function to be played by the procurement department, the purchasing officer is there as well as store officers. Both are being assisted by the assistant in purchasing section as well as in store section. So when we look at the procedure of procuring a material, so it starts with the accepting requisition from the engineering or any concerned department. So this is also known as a indenting. Purchase order is issued based on the availability of materials or whatever the status is there. So follow-up of pending requisition is done. Site visit is being done by the procurement department, and finally this report is being submitted. Now look at the first step, which is very, very important as far as the procurement function is concerned, that is a requisition. So engineering department or personnel at site prepare the requisition for materials required by them to carry out the construction project. So quantity of material to be ordered for purchase should be determined on monthly, 6 monthly basis or yearly basis or quarterly, depending upon the frequency of the requirements. And the requisition should be submitted to the procurement department. So this requisition facilitates department to plan accordingly so that materials are supplied as per the delivery date and mentioned on the requisition. Proper coordination and understanding between engineering department and procurement department is very, very essential. So absence of coordination may result in delay in the completion of the overall project. If you look at the format of requisition for issuing a purchasing order, on the top left side is the company which actually placing a requisition to the supplier. So the purchasing department will have the format to make sure that the items which have been entered, it is as per the standards which are laid down by the organizations. And you can see there is serial number, description of materials, how much quantity is needed, so new quantity, what is the required delivery schedule, the name of the suppliers, order number and date, receiving date, quantity received, stock registered, page number, remarks, all these are done. So it is being signed by the site engineers who has made requisitions, procurement engineers who are actually going to procure the materials, and it is also how much it will cost the materials in procurement that is is recorded. The second is the purchasing order. After requisition, procurement department prepares purchase order for individual supplier. So purchase order is generally a printed document which can have the 3 copies of which each department and can have in different colors. So 1 copy of purchase order is usually kept by the procurement department for record purpose, while 1 copy is sent to the supplier and 3rd copy is provided to the accounts department for financial details and the clearing the bills. A purchase order contains all information like specifications, units, rate, insurance, all types of taxes, excise, delivery date, credit date, mode of measurement and mode of payment. So all information which have been provided in the purchase order must be clear for timely delivery. There should not be any ambiguity in the information recorded. So inventory list of all materials including its current status, reorder, quantity, minimum level is given to the procurement department. And then the quantity of materials after detecting the reorder quantity sent to the procurement department on a regular basis, maybe weekly or maybe daily basis. So it is a responsibility of the purchase department to prepare the list properly without any error and order for requisition and issue the purchase order accordingly. Now this is the required format to issue a purchase order. So where the name of supplier is there, it could be prospective supplier, it could be the supplier who has already supplied in the past, and serial number is written, description with the sizes means and the unit quantity, unit rate, amount, supplier quotation, and everything is there. What is the GST, freight charge, payment terms, requisition, everything is there. Now there is a separate column for terms and conditions which are actually pasted on the back side of the purchase order, which reflects the various terms like the payment terms, what should be the latest time of delivery and all, what is the format. There are other issues which are being printed and the supplier has to comply with these terms and conditions. Next is the receipt of materials at site. So order material received at site is being inspected by the store assistant or store supervisor will inspect the quantity, quality and specification of the materials. So any acceptance or rejections containing point to check are provided to the inspecting person. So on acceptance, materials are unloaded in store or at required place along with the inspection report. So there are various checklists, there are various heads under which all items are being inspected. once it is being received by the stores department. One is whether the material is as per specification or not. This is very, very important. Is this the color, correct color required? All dimensions as per requirement? Is there any damage? So whether the order is complete or not in terms of quantity, quality? Is there any absorptive materials, wood, cement, found to be wet? Or is the quality of material okay or not? So this report is being inspected, a checklist is being prepared, and it is duly signed by store assistant, store supervisor, engineer, and manager. Now next come to the pending requisition. In case of materials which have been ordered not received as per the requirement, so procurement officer must prepare a pending requisition giving full details of material required. In case of any urgency, so alternatives or reminder may be sent, or alternative supplier may be identified. Now many times procurement may be required to visit the site to check the progress of work to ensure quality of material received. So before receiving of the materials, the procurement manager can ensure that whatever the materials which have been ordered, it is being complied by the suppliers. So also unutilized excess materials on site should also be under his scrutiny. The procurement manager may also depute his assistant for making report on unutilized excess material on site. So occasionally there may be dispute with the suppliers on quality of material supply. Okay, and then if in that case, procurement manager must visit the site along with the supplier to resolve the matters. Next is the report preparation. So a detailed report of materials which have been ordered, which have been purchased, replaced, rejected, problem with the supplier, anything, if any, unutilized materials and problem encountered at the site must be prepared. So study of price variation with the help of market survey also be reported. The procurement department must ensure the interaction between site engineers and procurement department to prepare a list of target and materials required for the next year. Actually, it will help the management for proper planning of purchasing material. In case of seasonal variations are there or seasonal purchases are there, so it will help the management to make the proper arrangement for the order of the items. It will also facilitate controlling inventory at the site. It avoids any kind of panic or last minute or 11th hour purchases, and it also increases the source and suppliers the relationship. It also computerizing the works of the department. Now, if you look at the functions of procurement department, I had just explained that the suppliers, the quality, the vendors' quality are very, very important. So, in order to have the right kind of supplier, so procurement department must prepare a list of suppliers for providing materials of right quantity at right time. This should be updated every year depending upon the performance, capacity, reliability, commitment of the suppliers. So based on the performance, capacity, reliability and commitment, suppliers should be graded. For proper grading, point system may be developed, and on the basis of total points earned by the suppliers. In the subsequent slide, we will discuss what is the method of evaluating the supplier and how the supplier should be graded. So depending upon the grading, first preference should be given to A followed by B, and if not possible in A and B, then C. It is better to invite quotation after scrutinizing which purchase order is to be placed. So minimum typical evaluations are the criteria to be considered are price, quality, service and delivery. At many places price is given due importance, but in today's practice the price, quality, service, delivery all plays very, very important role in identifying the good suppliers. So there is a popular method which is known as a weighted point method, where each supplier is rated according to each factors, and each factor is given weightage according to its importance. So factor could be the quantity, deliveries, price, services, and the Highest weightage could be given to quantity, that is 40%, delivery could be given 30%, price 20%, service 10%. Now these weight is being multiplied by the how much it is being measured for each supplier in terms of each factors. So when we say quality, if it is weight is 40% and the supplier A is rated 1 to 5 scale as the best, suppose 5. So the 5 upon 5 multiplied 40 will be the supplier rating. So similarly for supplier B, on the same factor, how much the supplier B is rated. So based on the cumulative score of supplier A and supplier A's rating and supplier B's rating, whichever the score is higher, so that supplier is being selected. In detail, if we look at this, how the quality performance, delivery performance or price performance can be evaluated. So there is a simple formula which can be used for illustration purpose, like quality performance can be judged by number of lots accepted multiplied 100 upon number of lots supplied. Similarly, delivery performance can be identified for a supplier based on the time schedule as well as a quantity schedule. And price performance can be calculated of one supplier by how much, what is the minimum price offered depending on how much vendor is quoting the price. So based on all these performance criteria, the grading is done for each suppliers, and whatever the grade is there, and you can see here then if you look at the categories on which the suppliers are being rated, like quality, delivery, services, and you can also see the weightage has been assigned for each category, like 50%, 30%, 20%. And when we look at the description, so 40% constitute out of 50% as rejected lots, 30% is constituting as a weightage for process capability, 10% for pre-shipment samples, 10% for timely data, and 10% for other issues. Means out of the quality as a category, the various subcategories are identified and the weightage have been assigned, and these weightages have been multiplied by the grade which have been rated as for each supplier. So cumulative score by the weight and grade by multiplying the grade and the weighted point is calculated. So here you can see that grade score is 2.9 for quality, delivery 2.5, and for services 4.0, and total grade point average is calculated as 3. So whichever supplier has got higher grade point average in total, that supplier is being selected. However, there could be the different level of performance, and the suppliers can be rated, like excellent is 4, good 3, fair 2, poor is 1, fail means 0. Means that if there is excellent means you can keep the suppliers for the next or for the purchasing purpose of materials. If it is a good, so there is maybe some improvement possible. The supplier can be negotiated, can be interacted like this for making some certain improvements. So if you look at the cement companies, the vendors, suppose there are 3 vendors, Birla Cement, JP Cement, AC Cement, and rate per unit has been quoted by these 3 vendors or the suppliers. Taxes have been described, whether it is included or not. Credit days has been provided by these. Transportation cost, loading, unloading cost, insurance, and all these have been recorded for each suppliers who have quoted. Based on the preference criteria or the categories or weightage, the company can decide, the procurement department can decide which company or which vendor is to be selected. So we just illustrated various examples through which the suppliers can be evaluated and rated, and accordingly the suppliers can be selected for procurement purpose. Now, what are the responsibilities of procurement manager? So, maintaining and updating approved suppliers directive which shall contain the following data: supplier's name, address, telephone, fax, telefax, email address, Supplier status, that whether they are manufacturer, distributor, dealers, retailers, name of the first contact person and second contact person, who has recommended. So list of materials available with the suppliers, authority to issue purchase order, purchasing the list of prospective suppliers. A procurement manager can cancel or hold up the first order after informing the top management of the department. Responsibility for the quality and timely delivery of materials are important. Responsibility also managing the inventory, controlling the inventory, full knowledge of availability of the materials in the market. The manager should also be present at the time of finalizing the specifications of the building by technical department, maintaining communication and good relation with the suppliers, well awareness of the new products coming in the market with their technical details, keeping update of variation in the market rates, attending seminars, workshop to update the knowledge for vendor developments. Now, if we look at the procurement department, what are the essential information they should have as for the materials which are being procured for purchase purpose? So look at the inventory description. Every engineer, so it is a joint responsibility of both the concerned department or engineering department who are actually placing the requisition for the procurement, as well as the procurement department. They should be in sync with understanding the materials requirement, the characteristics and all. So like every engineer must know the complete details of materials required at the site to avoid any wastage and unnecessary transportation costs due to wrong material delivery. Like if for wash basin which is required in a flat, the engineer should know the following details, like what is the size of the wash basin, what is the color, quality. Size and colors are very, very important because requirement may vary from one side to the other. Next, the unit. The engineer should know the unit of materials which is standardized as per the market availability and the payment terms with the supplier. So next is the quantity per truckload. So procurement department must have information about the average quantity per truckload so that economical transport charges would be considered by raising the indent for a full truck load. Is very, very important. There should be clear-cut understanding on it. What is the market lot which are available, like market will specify the quantity of each material to be ordered in a multiple truckloads as per the site requirements. So knowledge of market lot is very essential for procurement engineer so as to place the correct indent for a procuring material. And then the quality report. Quality report of each material is sent along the quantity challenge to accounts department. Quantity reports helps in identification of defective material well in advance at the time of its use at site. It facilitates replacement of materials with better quality without causing any delay. So in this video, what you have learned that what procurement management's role functions are there specific to the construction industry, what are the procedures the procurement management should follow in order to place an order, and how the procurement management or the department can play a very, very important role in ensuring the continuity of the supply, so facilitating the uninterrupted productions. And in this video you also learn about what is the method or the model which is being used to evaluate the suppliers, what are the inventory know-how for each procurement department, like the information they should have in order to place the right quantity of right quality, and so that delivery can be made as per the required. So various inventory control tools and techniques like ABC classification, EOQ models, which have already been discussed in the earlier video, should be applied to make the procurement practices effective and efficient. If you look at the EOQ model, what should be the quantity of the order the procurement department should place, and whether and what time. So inventory system models are very, very important so that the cost of procurement and maintaining the inventory can be minimized. Thank you.